Welcome to Level Up series on business planning. And it's not super sexy, though it should be, because this is what's going to get you to succeed. So everyone joining live today, I'm just going to ask if you can turn your video cameras on. I want this to be super interactive. Our series is going to be getting you to be very interactive with the content, so you leave with actual practical tangible things to do. I'm going to ask you guys questions, and so you can use the chat, or you can also use the video to respond. So just a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. I live in Canada in the cold Arctic, and it's not nice outside, but it's warm for our January temperature. I love my family. You can see my family there. That picture was taken a while ago. My 15-year-old is now even taller, and my 12-year-old is starting to inch up there. We have all of our family helping to work with us, and I have 2 assistants as well. I'm a mom-focused, family-focused business, and I'm second-generation realtor. So my dad's actually an agent in the business as well too. And I used to be a Tom Ferry business coach. I am an Enneagram coach and a Real Academy instructor, and a top producing agent with an assistant team. So we're going to talk about what a business plan is, how to set goals. I think sometimes we struggle, especially January, like everyone wants to lose weight or get more active. There's always these like generic goals that we always set, but like, how do we actually get to the next level? How do you track and measure? And we want to have this all interactive. I'm going to show you 4 different business plan options. You pick what works best for you. I'll show you how I use 2 of them. I used to use one of them. And we're going to just dive in. So first of all, who here has already done a business plan? Have you done one? Have you not done one?
I have not.
Ashley hasn't. Holly, have you done a business plan yet? No. Okay, and Chantel's camera's off, so I don't know. Chantel, if you can type in the chat.
Yet. I said in the chat that my camera's not working.
Oh, sorry. I didn't read the chat. So did you do a business plan yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, awesome. So you will have some selections of what you want to do. The business plan really helped me change my business from just kind of, I'm going to do it, I'm going to sell houses, but actually giving me a framework to work off of. And then it'll help you run your business so you can treat it like a business and not a hobby. So it's big picture for the year, but we really want this to be simple and achievable. I went to business school and they had us do like 20 to 30 page business plans and like essay style, but that's not what we're doing today. We want this to be practical, that you're going to go back to and refer to, and then you'll be able to look back at it every quarter, every month to see how you're doing. So it's the why, what, and the how. So how to set goals. First, you need to figure out what your why is. How many of you guys have a why? Maybe type that in the chat if you have one. What is your reasoning to succeed in this business?
Sorry, I'm going to mute it because my dogs are starting to wrestle. I don't want to.
No worries. Just dump it in chat. Dump your answer in chat. Family, husband, and 2 girls. Okay, Holly, that's awesome. What is the why specifically? Like, are you wanting to provide for them? Are you trying to add additional income to your family? Having time with family. Awesome. That's a great why. So if we can try to narrow down exactly visually, what does that look like? So if you want family and more time with them, does that mean you want an extra 1 hour, 5 hours? Do you want to make sure you're at home for dinner 5 days a week, 2 days a week? Additional income, being successful for my girls to look up to. Awesome. Yeah. So that is good. And then do you know your number for your additional income? Like, what would be that number? What are you contributing to for your family household? Is it like the vacation? If you do X amount, you're going to go on this kind of vacation. I know when I set my goal to sell 60 houses for the first time about 6-7 years ago, one of my goals that I attached it with, because kids are a phenomenal way to keep yourself accountable, was we would go on a Disney cruise. And so every time I'd leave, the kids weren't upset I was leaving. They were saying, Mom, did you sell another house? I'm like, I literally just went out. Like, how did I just sell a house? But they knew when Mom sold 60 houses, we were going to go on a Disney cruise, and they were really excited. Yes, I told my oldest daughter Disney. Awesome. Now, Holly, do you know the cost of Disney? Like, that's something I would do to help you set your goal, because Disney obviously is very expensive. And I remember going to Disneyland and we wanted to stay at the hotel there. So I priced out the hotel, priced out food, priced out like fast passes. If you know the exact number, I know it seems preliminary, but like know that number. So then if you know that it's going to cost you to enjoy yourself, like maybe you want some spending money as well, maybe your kids want to go to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, put that in. So let's say it's going to be $15,000 or $20,000, whatever it is that you would really enjoy, put that number together. Because once you have a number affiliated with that why, now we can work backwards. Now we can say, okay, to hit this goal, I have to sell this many houses in order to get this. And this is after expenses. Yes, definitely do that. And put like your family picture, get your kids to cut out things, maybe print it off the internet of like Disney stuff of places they want to go check out, get them involved, and put something on your wall in your office to remind you. Not being tied down to a location, being at home for dinner, for week vacation time per year, spending summers at the lake. Awesome, Chantel. So make sure to, like I was talking to Holly about, knowing what does that look like specifically. So if you want to be at home for dinner, like time block that and like make sure you've got that put into your calendar. But we're going to show you how to do that in here. I just wanted to understand what you guys were, what your why was, because that's going to be huge in putting a proper business plan together. So what is your biggest fear if you don't accomplish this goal? Let me pop that in there. This is something a little bit more personal. How's that going to make you feel? And it's not just, oh, I don't get to go on vacation. It's probably something more substantial than that. So just really try to think of like what your fear is if you don't accomplish it. What would you like to see financially? So we talked about that, Holly. Yeah, failing for my children. That like stabs you in the heart, hey? And I think once you are honest with yourself with the fear, then we can really dial in on kind of your motivations and like what prevents you. Because sometimes we know if we do this, we'll get there, but something stops us, even though we know that fail is going to be there. Hey, for everyone that's joined, I just noticed there's more people in here. Please hop in on the chat, hop in on the audio. We want this to be interactive. We're just going through what the concepts of business plan is. And if you haven't dumped in what your why is, put it into the chat, please, of what is your why and what is your biggest fear if you don't accomplish it. We just hit the financial stuff. What would you like to see with your family? And what growth would you like to see personally? So let's not forget about, especially as moms, we're so focused on our kids and we forget, hey, we need to like remember us too, because if we can feed ourselves, we can feed others, including our clients as well. So let's determine the number that goes with your whys and growth. That's what we just talked about. You need to know your expenses. So who here knows how much money they spend a year? And let's be honest with me. Let's see these chats. No, a lot. Okay, so that's going to be an exercise for you guys to look at your expenses on what do you spend truthfully every year. And I say this because I come from, I told you I grew up in the real estate world, and ignorance is not bliss, right? Just because you think you didn't spend that much money doesn't mean that's actually what happened. So that's going to be really eye-opening. And how do you track and measure? So we use YNAB. You can use that on your app. You can use it on your phone or on your desktop. And YNAB, it connects to your banking. Now, people use Mint. They use a whole bunch of different things. I've tried all those. The reason I like YNAB is it literally is called You Need a Budget. YNAB. It's on the slides, Ashley. So what that does is it makes me budget what I have in my bank account, not what I want to have. This helped me actually save money and get me on track, knowing that I'm like making enough money to set my proper goals, and B, I'm on actual path to retire in like 8 years. We all know realtors don't usually retire, but hey, at least I know I don't have to work, right? And that's separate of stocks and rev share. This is just about putting money aside. So if you don't want to work forever, or you want to work, but you're just working for fun, this is super important. Take a look at your income from the previous year And where did that business come from? So we're about to go into the logistics of that. So for you guys who are on here, make sure you take a look at your expenses. So I'm going to give you some category examples. Fees, cell phone. If you work from home, you know that you can write that space off. Now I'm in Canada. We have different tax rules. I think in the US, you can write off even more, I think. So make sure you have like your utilities, your all the things that you spend on the running the business. So your software, your computer, your internet, all that kind of stuff. And then you also have your expenses on what you spend per listing, what you spend per buyer. You want to like, don't forget that you spend money every time on photos, every time on video. What does it cost you to have a listing? What does it cost you to have a buyer? You might think, oh, well, buyers don't cost me anything. Well, yeah, they do. Gas. You have to drive around. They also cost you money for gifts, right? And maybe if you have a buyer package, like we have seller and buyer packages, they cost money. These are the seller packages. These are our buyer packages. They cost money. So you need to make sure you're putting everything down for your expenses. Can you guys think of any other expenses? Pop it down of whatever I missed. Put it in the chat, please. Coffees, lunches. Those are all, they all count. Zoom. Make sure you just literally the easiest thing to do, go to your bank account and statement and your MasterCard or Visa and go through line by line. Was that business? Was that business? Was that business? And do like 3 months worth because our stuff changes all the time, right? And have your fixed costs and have your variable ones that change. Some of them times you pay once a month, sometimes you pay once a year. Okay, so signage, yes. So signage and pulling title, those are all transaction specific. So have big categories like transaction expenses, overhead expenses. So training would be education. So training, travel, now that we can travel, like all that stuff, you want to put all of it together. Because at the end of the day, even though you hit your goal of selling 30 or 40 houses, well, did that actually cover all the bills? Because if you came out negative and upside down, then maybe you should have actually set a bigger goal, right? So Holly, when you want to go on that vacation, you're like, oh, I hit all the houses, like I did it all. But then if we spent too much money, now you're like coming stressed out at Disney because everything costs an arm and a leg. And you're like, I thought I budgeted enough money, but it's like, oh, we spent too much. So I just needed to sell an extra 2 or 3 houses and this would have changed the game. So now I want you guys to look at where your income came from last year. In the chat, can you please tell me, where do your clients come from? Or have come from? Referrals. Yep. What else do you guys do for generating business? Social media, sphere of influence, absolutely 100%. I was waiting for that to come up. A little concerning if there's not. Referrals. Referrals, let's get specific. Referrals from sphere, referrals from past client, referrals from affiliates, which are like business contacts. Let's grain them down. The reason I'm going to ask you this is because it's going to help you set business goals. We're going to approach people differently depending on where the referrals come from. SOI, referrals from SOI. Anybody use YouTube? A lot of business from them. From your past sphere, Ashley? Or past realtors?
Other realtors. So
okay. Out of town realtor referrals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Awesome. So what you can do, I'm going to show you business plans. I want you to write those down and then write the actual number of where you got the business from. So then we can like easily increase them. So let's just grab, I'm going to show you Tom Ferry. So Tom Ferry's business plan is one that I used. That's how I started. Okay. He's got some really good tools out here. I'll just show you this one. So his business plan, this is old school Tom Ferry. He's got new ones now too, but I like some of the old stuff because it's a lot more simple. So I'm skipping here. So this page 4. So where you would write in the lead sources. So we just talked about a sphere of influence, referrals, past clients. And then I want you to put how many were sellers and buyers from each of those, right? And then it makes it really easy for you to set this coming year's goal. So let's say you did 20 deals from Sphere. You had 10 sellers, 10 buyers. And this year, you're like, okay, I want to increase my Sphere goal. I had 20 total. Maybe I'm going to go up by 10. That's realistic. That's another extra 5. So it's showing you that you can do it. Now, if you wanted to jump and go, well, no, I need to double down. I need to have 40 deals from Sphere this year, and I'm going to add it to X minus X. Now, now you know that's a big jump from the previous year. So enhancements necessary this year, you're going to have to double down on the activities you did. So what you did last year is not going to get you to where you're going to get this year. So this is just a simple way to kind of see what am I going to do line by line. So if I got out-of-town agent referrals and I got 2 deals from them last year and I want to get 10, that's a big jump. What am I going to do? What did I do last year? And what am I going to do this year? So if you didn't do anything, you didn't reach out to them or whatever, well, this is really easy. Now you can put in simple things like once a month, I should send out an email to my out-of-town agents and let them know how our market is doing. Once every quarter, I'm going to make a phone call and talk to those agents. Maybe I'm going to send birthday cards. So creating those little extra enhancements to increase your lead source. So that's this page. This is like that number 4 page is like my big key thing for you guys to do when it comes to figuring out where you were last year and where you want to go this year. Okay, the expenses tell you the bigger picture of how much do you need to make. So if your expenses total up to be 80,000 for the year, and then Holly, you want to go to Disney, it costs an extra 20, then you know you have to minimum make 100K to make that work or more, right? So then you take 100K divided by your average commission, which gives you your units. And then so you have that number in your head while you're doing this transaction results goals in terms of where was I last year? Where am I this year? So if last year you did 50,000 and you want to jump to 100, it's like, okay, where is that coming and where do I want to put in? Now, do you guys all have at least 4 lead sources or do you just have 1 or 2?
3.
Oh, 5 months. Awesome. Well, good. You're setting up good habits. 2 transactions. 1 is SOI and 1 referral from SOI. Okay. I would challenge you as a coach to add 2 more. You want to have at least 4 lead sources if you want to build a 6-digit business, minimum 4. So you want Sphere. That's to me non-negotiable. I don't know. Some people don't like to talk their Sphere, but you need to get over that and you need to figure out why that's an issue. But Sphere is a big one. If you're a new realtor, you're not going to have past clients. So we don't talk about that, but Sphere and Sphere referrals, I kind of put them as the same thing because you're going to be doing the same activity with them. Do you guys have any ideas of other lead sources that you'd like to pursue?
I just signed up for Op City.
What is that?
Real has access to it. It's like realtor.com leads.
Okay. So online leads.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so online leads would be a lead source. Open house leads absolutely is another source. I do that. I know Chantal mentioned social media. So you can get even more specific with that, right? Because sometimes social media is our branding, but sometimes we get clients. I know for me in the past, I've gotten Sphere from social media. So like I kind of dump all that as Sphere. But you have to really figure out what is my purpose for my Instagram? What's my purpose for my Facebook? Because if you're trying to generate clients that are not people you have to take a different strategy towards it. That's a whole nother class. YouTube, we're at real. Let's be real. There is a lot of agents getting YouTube leads, and so have I. So a few years ago when I started to actually dial down, now I started a YouTube channel in 2015, 16 when Tom Ferry said to do it, but it was horrible. So if you think you can't do video, you're awkward, just go look at my old videos. They're bad. They're so bad. But a few years back when I started to put some key things into place that I've taken from courses, I got 14 clients from just YouTube 1 year. Then the year after, we ended up getting I helped another 10, but I gave away another 14. Like it literally almost doubled. I am now getting listing leads. They were primarily all buyer leads. I'm getting listing leads. Last year, I got $1 million client from it. And I don't have like the $1 million tours. My YouTube style is educational. So very much if you know Karen Carr and Malcolm Lawson from the Real ecosystem, that's the style of video and kind of path I go. I know Brad McCallum has a ton of business from YouTube because of the brand that he's established for himself, which is like a high-end luxury realtor. There's also Tyler Hassman with TikTok, right? He gets a ton of business from TikTok. So make sure you add one. I would challenge you to do at least one of those, either YouTube or Instagram or something social, because that is going to help you build your brand, but also help you get some clients out of there. Used to be that social media used to just be a brand play, and it wasn't so much a lead play. Other ideas for getting lead sources. Okay, so Holly, there are a few different lead source ideas with Tom Ferry. He calls them make money now lead sources and later lead sources. So make money now is like, I need cash now. Open house would be one. Door knocking is another one, as you can start door knocking and getting listings that way. The online leads is, Craig, don't subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't, if you subscribe, now you have to watch the whole video. Okay, you got me. I'm like, do not just watch it. Very, very paranoid when it comes to my YouTube channel. I have an agent one as well called Canadian Tech Savvy Agent, and that has not as many people on there, but that's for agents specifically. And just a shameless plug, Melody_Wilson Instagram it's now become for agents. That audience is for agents. I put on how to do green screen for Instagram. I showed you how to schedule posts on Instagram. So if you follow that, that's going to have some more tips there too. Sorry, I got distracted about that. So other lead sources that you could do that are more like, they're not make money now, but they're important. Sphere, right? Because you don't know when Sphere is going to contact you. You have no predictability on it. Online leads can also be both. They can be make money now, but they can also be long-term. Like I know pay-per-click ads, they're not always looking right away. Sometimes they are contacting you 18 months in advance. I was just looking at a YouTube lead that she signed up on one of my type forms asking for community information. We clicked on the CRM and then we're like, oh, I've talked to her 2 years ago. It was the journey had started. So it's not always immediate. I do find my YouTube clients, when they email me at that stage, they're almost ready to go. I'd say 98% of them were immediate, but it takes time. They don't reach out to me till they're ready. So I had a listing appointment last week. They've been watching my videos for 2 years and then reached out to me. Like that's what the wife said, my husband's been watching it for 2 years. That's kind of a weird statement, but hey, I'm getting clients from it. And I really love YouTube because you attract if people don't like you, they're not going to watch you. They're not going to reach out to you. So I really like that. And I think as a newer agent, Holly, that's something that's you could totally utilize, right? Find your niche, find who you want to talk to. And that's a big thing too for business planning. You got to figure out who you're talking to as well. Circle prospecting absolutely is one. I don't talk about it because in Canada, we have so many restrictions. We can't do circle prospecting. We can't do expireds. Holly, that's another one, is expired listing or expired as another source of business. If you go into Tom Ferry's YouTube channel and you Google lead sources, he will have a ton of videos that you can watch from his old Tom Ferry show. So I'm going to go back to my slides if I can get out of this. Okay.
And I'm sorry, are you going to share those slides with us?
Oh yeah, I think Joe has them also. This is also being recorded. So, and he's going to send all the business plans I'm going to show you guys. He's going to have it as a downloadable as well. So you guys can use them. Yeah. So we talked about this. What can you do to level up how you work with, and how many more clients do you think you can help? So what you don't measure, you cannot improve. And you want to measure both leading and lagging indicators. Leading is how many appointments are you going on? So put in your office, I'm going to go on 100 listing. If you go on 100 listing appointments this year, and that's all you focus on, I guarantee you will see a ton of success. So that's a leading indicator. Lagging indicator is how many deals did you write up this month? How many listings did you take? Because those are the results from the activity that you needed to do. The activity you need to do is the leading indicators. And what do you use to track? I'm a little psycho when it comes to tracking. I have Trello, Airtable, and Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss is my CRM. We actually use that because the phone number that we have affiliated for work now, I can actually see when's the last time I talked to somebody. I can track my text messages in there. I know Chime has that too. Like you have the ability to talk to people that are signing up on your website. I just like to see reports. I want to see how many phone calls did I make that month? How many emails did I send out? Those will help me see if I'm on the right track to hit my goals. If you haven't started, just pick one and keep it simple. So if you, for example, have Chime, learn Chime. There's so many videos on Real Academy that you can learn about how to use Chime to make it maximize for you. And we're already getting such an amazing deal with it. I would 100% go all in on that. And then once you get a hang of it, then dive deeper. And I would encourage you to not add things until like the last quarter. So stay focused. Realtors are so notorious for like shiny object syndrome. Are your lead sources delivering what you set a goal for? So if you said, I want to do 15 deals for Sphere, I want to do 5 for circle prospecting, I want to do 5 for online. And at the end of the year, you're like, I got 1 deal from online, but I spent so much money. You spent way less on Sphere and you ended up getting 1 extra deal. Maybe that means that you should be more into your Sphere. Maybe the online isn't all it's cut out to be. It's a different beast. So once a year, only once a year, spend 1 to 2 hours working on your business plan. So we're talking about it today. You're learning about it. If you can, after this, or put in your calendar after today, when am I going to do this business plan? Which one I'm going to do? And I'm going to just do it. You need to make sure you do that before. I would set the goal before January 31st. Review where your business came from, your expenses, each quarter review your income. You need to look every month, if not every quarter, 30 minutes to an hour. And you might want to adjust your goals because you may have fallen behind in the first month. You're like, oh, January, I didn't hit the 3 listings I wanted. So I'm going to have to add those extra 2 I didn't get this month to the next one to stay on track. I know it sounds very elementary, but this is what you need to do. So let's take a look at the templates. Sharon did a business plan seminar. You can go back in Real Academy and watch it. It's really good. I watched it on 2x speed. He talks really fast naturally, and then try watching that on 2x speed. That's fun. But he did a really good job because he literally shows you how to fill this plan out, and he will give you how to fill the plan out. But what I wanted to show you is how simple it is. His is 2 pages, 1, 2. And what he does here is he shows you how to do your purpose. On his purpose, he literally gives you, why am I doing all this? We talked about this at the beginning. Why are you doing this for your family? Why are you doing this for your business? Why are you doing this for yourself? He has 5 different things. And then that purpose then carries on to your future self. What do you want to see in 5 years for each of those categories? What are your top 5 goals for each of those categories for this coming year? Your force multipliers, like what are you going to do to get there? Your community, your monthly focus area. So this is really simplified. What am I doing in January, February, March to make sure I hit these goals? And if you're reading the Atomic Habits, this is another shameless plug for Ray's book club. What Atomic Habits talks about, it's the little habits that actually get you to your goal. Even if you didn't have a goal and you just focus on the habits, it'll help you actually accomplish what you want to accomplish. So this daily number is also in Tom Ferry's plan as well. This is really important, especially when you're newer in the business, even if you've never done this before and you've been in the business for how many years. If you want to say what is your transaction goal? Can you guys dump that into the chat here? And I will do a calculation. Yes, it is an awesome book club. 12. Okay. 30, 35. Okay, we'll do math for the 12 and then we'll do the math for 35. So you take your transaction goal of 12 and you guys need to dump your average sales price too. Holly, don't be too scared about being realistic because you're probably capable of more. What's realistic is what you think you can do. You didn't say 100, but 12 is maybe just, it's only one deal a year. So 300. What is your average sales price? What's the volume? So the volume is 300. And then what's your average gross commission? So if you don't know what your average gross commission is, just take the gross, like the volume, the average price, 300,000, and do whatever the commission is that you would be getting paid. We all get paid different commissions all around. So I just want you guys to figure that out. So take your goal, grab your calculator, take your goal, because I want you to share after we go through this, what your number is and put it in the chat. So take your transaction goal and divide it by the average sales price. Then you want to multiply, oh, sorry, wrong math. Multiply line 1 by 59. That's the conversation to deal ratio. So if your goal was 12 deals, you have to multiply that by 59. It's 708 conversations you need the whole year. And then you divide that by line by 11, because you're not going to work 12 months. So 708 divided by 11. Now that's 64.36. Let's say 64 conversations you need per month. And we're going to say you only work 3 or 20 days per month. You're not going to work all 30 days. So you take that line and divide that by 20. Means you need to make 3.2 conversations per day. Let's just round that up to 4. So if you're trying to do 12 deals in the year, 4 conversations a day. Can you do that? Can you have 4 meaningful conversations about that? Let's take a look at 30. If you want to do 30 deals, multiply that by 59, divide that by 11, and divide by 20. 8 conversations a day is what you need to do 30 deals. So if you can do 10, like that's awesome. So now I also have Tom Ferry's plan that has it's a fillable PDF. So I'm going to be sending that to Joe if you guys want to use that as well. So if you don't want to use your calculator and your math, okay, hold on. Where did his plan go? I'm trying to find it now. Disappeared on me. There it is. He also has the numbers thing on page. So if you're going to use this, use page 4 and page 5. So see here. Oh, of course, it's not working for me as I'm on here. But when you type it out, he has a multiplied by 40 and divided by 11. So if you know your numbers, if you know how many people you need to talk to get one deal, that's great. But right now, if you don't know it, you just pick a generic number so that you're able to actually generate it. If you're tracking how many conversations you're having a day and how many deals you do at the end of the year, you have your own number by next year when you're planning. So that's the power of it. Holly, these are conversations about real estate specifically, yes. So these are you thinking of selling? These are conversations. If you go door knocking and you knock on 4 doors and you talk to 4 people about real estate, that's conversations. Okay. So that's the daily number. Annual dashboard, you can kind of go in here and see if you guys have teams, there's your goal and your team goal. If you don't have a team, just focus on this side. Okay. Watch Sharon's video to kind of go through all of the statistics, like how he fills all this out. If you guys are having an attraction strategy, you want to put that down as well. Any goals, you want to write them down, and your commitments. Commitments, even like my commitment is to drink 2 3/4 liters of water a day. Yeah, there you go. And I'm at like 5 o'clock already, and it's not 5 o'clock. I'm ahead of the game. I've actually been drinking 3 liters of water a day now. So what are you going to do? Commit to it. I find sometimes too, when you write things down, it's really weird. I'm going to show you on this other thing I'm using. It's like, it still happens. It's really weird. It still happens even if you're not staring at it every day. So this is Sharon's one. This one I found at a conference that we did here, one of the local realtors in Calgary, so 3 hours south of me. shared this. I love this because instead of focusing on numbers, we're focusing on other things. Still focusing on numbers, but it's more rounded. So I'm actually using this with my women's mastermind, and I'm excited for it. F is boost your exposure. So what are you doing to become famous? That could be Instagram. What are you going to do to acknowledge someone every month? This is a monthly form, not a yearly form. What's the mess you're going to clean? Physical, financial, emotional. What are you going to invest in? So are you investing in how are you going to learn about the business? That's at the L. And then why? Friends and family are important. Spend time with them. Do something just for yourself every month. So 3 changes I want to make. I love this because it kind of gamifies things. So what we're doing each month is we're going to tally up how many points that we got this month. And basically it says how I will boost my profile. Now I'm going to show you the one I filled out so you can see. So 3 changes for this month. Get back into my moving each day, getting off my phone and reading more, and helping more agents. And I'm like doing them. I'm not doing so well on the number 2, but I have started reading more. So what am I going to do for fame? I really want to get on my Google. It's not Google My Business anymore. It's Google Business Profile. I'm going to complete it by this date. But minimum, I'm going to update the product section. My goal is to have daily posts. Outrageous is also to add another 10 more reviews. So if I do this, I'm going to get all these points. And if I delegate it, I get even more points because the whole point is to delegate. And that's my assistant. Okay. Acknowledgement. I want to acknowledge somebody in my women's mastermind. And at minimum, I'm going to post an Instagram story and tag them. Target, I'm going to share a post and encourage them. Outrageous, I'm going to reach out to encourage video. I'm going to send them a video and text it to them. So I have till February 10th. That's our next thing. I haven't done that yet, but see, this reminds me to keep doing these things. M is for mess. I have a mess on the YouTube backend. I want to clean it out. So I don't know if it affects the algorithm, but I need to clean it up because we were using it to store videos for posting on our blog. I said at minimum, delete videos that are just there for being on the blog. Okay. I don't know why the next page doesn't want to show up for me. So I guess you just get to see those ones. For invest, I have like learning more about, I have courses because I'm developing courses. So making sure I understand that. I'm developing an app. So like all those types of things, I want to make sure I'm learning to add to that. And then my outrageous thing was to actually launch my app before February 10th. And it's actually maybe going to happen based on all the activity I've been doing. So this is the monthly goal. If you've never done one before, just do like the annual one. I think that one's really important. This for me, I just really liked because I wasn't just focused on the numbers anymore. It was more, it was like, I can actually do something investing wise. Like I'm committing every month to learn something. So either I'm going to hop on a mastermind. I'm going to go to an in-person mastermind. I went to the forecast seminar last month. It just lets me look at each month at a more granular scope. So and then Tom's has like quite a bit. You see here, he's got, Holly, there's all the lead sources, like all of them. These are the main ones. And then these are other ones. Okay. I got more and more complex as I got into the business where I had more specific things I wanted to do. Here's systems and business improvements. And then your progress chart to like track and measure, which we talked about. So make sure you kind of take a look through that. There's one more business plan, the one I made for my coaching business. So I did this. I just like pretty looking things. And I also I felt like the real estate industry kind of forgets about what's really going on inside. Stop thinking about all the like what you're going to look like, the words you're going to get, all those things. What's your actual core motivation? And it's to help, right? What are you going to do? What's your core motivation for your life, business, others, and long-term? What is holding you back? We kind of talked about this earlier. This is so important. And I find that a lot of coaching forgets to find that out. You might tell me something, but you didn't actually tell me super deep. Yes, Holly, you're going to get all of this stuff. all of the forms. You can choose whatever you want. How will you work on those core fears? Sounds maybe kind of hokey, but this has been instrumental in changing my mindset and my ability to help others and be a better person for me, and being more self-aware and knowing when I'm moving towards stress, I look like this. And then I know I have to work on that, because we work in stress. We live in stress as realtors. So here's a SWOT analysis. Simple. Now, my business plan's a bit longer, but keep in mind it's simple. Each page is very clean. There's like very little that you have to write on it. That's why there's so many pages. What are your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats? What is your goal from 1 year from now? So my business will look like this. I will be earning this. My team will be this. Maybe you don't have a team right now. Maybe you want one, or maybe you don't want one. So maybe your team will be you and a virtual assistant or something. I will be working. Maybe your goal is, I only want to be working 3 days a week. I don't want to work evenings and weekends, or I want to work 7 days a week. I don't know, whatever your goal is. 5 years from now, and then pillars of your business. So I put in here sphere and past clients, because you have to fill out the next 3 and see, it's a whole page, but it shouldn't take you very long to fill this page out. And then your transaction goal. So I did a version of Tom Ferry's, a quick look at your last year's average price and average commission in your goals. So buyers and sellers units. Your monthly goals, similar to Sharon's, and your social media goals. This is a very simplified social media goal if you have never set a goal before. What are your channels? A channel means Instagram, channel means YouTube, channel means whatever. What are your goals for followers? What is your posting schedule? Are you going to post 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week? And then put your notes of what you want to do. Maybe I want to get more engagement. I want to have 2 deals come from Instagram. Put that down, and then put down what you're going to do. This is very simple. And then I also want you to look at your processes. Those are huge to helping you accomplish your goals. So like, what's your roadmap for your buyers? What can you eliminate, automate, and delegate? So clearly you probably have more than 4 steps, but this is just to make it look pretty. Write down from very beginning to very end. What do you do with a buyer when they come talk to you? Write it all down. Figure out what you don't need to be doing, what you can be delegating, who you can be hiring it out to, and build processes. This is just the beginning of a process. I'm going to have a course on building processes and systems, but this is just in your business plan. So at least you have a generic thing of like, what are you doing? Do you have one? Do you not have one? Then these ones are all trackers, the last 4 pages. Every quarter, I want you to set a goal for the quarter, just 3 goals. And then you'll be able to look at that every quarter. So that's what these last 4 pages are. So yes, it's 16 pages, but you see, it's very, very simple. I wanted to keep it clean and concise. So that's just an overview of the templates. And hopefully that was a little insightful. You will get access to these. Joe said he's going to put them somewhere. Joe, if you're still watching, Alicia's asking how she's going to get the forms. I'm sending them all to Joe, and then he's going to make it downloadable.
Yes, they will be posted in Workplace.
Okay.
In the
Awesome.
Real Academy group.
Okay. So with that, I'm done. Do you have you've got 15 minutes still of my time if you want to ask questions. So you can ask me anything.
I have a quick question. On the form that you designed, Melody, you said on your, oh gosh, the word where it's the 4 boxes and you have threats. What would you consider a threat?
What would you consider a threat?
Well, I'm trying to define threat. So my biggest threats are being consistent. I am very ADD, and like you said, shiny things. I get distracted very easily. If it's not fun, I don't like to do it.
That's a threat.
That's a big
mindset.
threat. Yeah, that's a
mindset.
big threat for me.
So strengths and weaknesses typically how SWOT is done. Strengths and weaknesses is internal. Opportunities and threats are external. So what are the external things that are threatening you from succeeding at your goal? It could be the market. That's a threat. However, the market doesn't dictate your success. It's just a potential threat that affects it. It's something you can't control.
Okay.
Weakness would be internal. So I'm distracted, my mindset's off. That's your internal weakness, something you can change if you wanted to. Does that make more sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Hello. Okay, I don't know how to say your name. Dekel?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking to somebody else, but yeah, it's
No.
Kiko.
Yeah, I just saw you come out onto the video. So any other questions?
Yes, I had a couple if nobody else has one. One question was like you put on there like making your calls and everything, right? Making sure that you're making at least X amount of contacts per day to be able to hit your deal goals.
Yeah.
What do you do on the in between, and do those count as additional contacts? And when I say in between, like you talk to someone and they're like, yeah, I'm interested, but I am 6 months out, 9 months out. When would you follow back up with them? I guess that's kind of my weak point, because anybody who's ready to go now, obviously, like we're good to go. I'm trying to build out an infrastructure to keep track of people who are the 6-12 months out on how I can, I don't know whether it's a newsletter or start making like YouTube videos or whatever the case is, to where they feel like, oh yeah, that's that guy that I talked to, and without me badgering them, right?
Yes.
To kind of passively stay in front of them. And like I'm looking at my whiteboard that I set up right now, and just from contacts that I made this month, I probably have my 30 transactions already on the board. But some of them are, summer, some of them are fall, and it's like I just don't want to lose them or forget to call them or call them too late and they move 3 months early. And like
Yes.
what do you do there?
So good on you for having a board to even have those names. Now, do you use a CRM?
Yeah, I've been with Real Geeks. I just switched over to Real, I guess 3 months ago,
Okay.
and so I'm setting up Chime right now.
Okay. Oh.
Just starting people in there, but I'm kind of starting over. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I would do is those people should be in your Chime.
Mhm.
And I have to speak in Follow Up Boss language because that's the CRM I use. I have action plans.
Mhm.
So action plans are like drip plans, right?
Yeah.
But they're not action plans necessarily to email them all the time. They're action plans to remind me to reach out to them. So
Okay.
you create that as an automation. So if that person says to you, I'm looking to buy in 6 months. Well, we all know that's a lie. You need to follow back up in 3 months. Always half it, right?
Mhm.
Because by the time you follow up at 6 months, they've already bought something.
Yeah.
So what I would do is create an action plan based on, okay, you're 6 months out. I'm going to apply this plan to you. And what that means is it's now automatically going to be running in the back end. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It doesn't have to take up real estate in your head anymore.
Mhm.
And you just have to check in on Chime to see the tasks that you have to do. And in that plan that you've created for that 6 month lead is actually only a 3 month duration, right?
Okay.
So what am I doing in those 3 months? Maybe you're sending out an email. Now, getting them to follow you on Instagram and YouTube is one thing to allow them to be passively connected to you, but there's no guarantee that they're seeing your stuff and that they are following you. So the plan that you want to create, because you still want to do those things, right? The plan you want to create is, I'm going to put them on an email list. I'm going to ask them, hey, because you're looking to buy in 6 months, do you want me to start sending you properties so you can get an idea of what they look like? So that's a search. Or you can say, hey, I send monthly market updates every month so you can know what's going on in the market. Do you want that? That's what we do. So they're getting these monthly updates. I also reach out to people and say, hey, we're having a pie giveaway. So it's another way to get in front of them, but it's not aggressive. Like, do you need to buy a house?
Yeah.
It's just, hey, do you want a free pie? Who says that? And even if they don't reach out to you, like for us on our end, we can see they've opened it. So I can see the engagement is still there, right? They're still connected to some degree. Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yeah.
If they're people like I don't know who these people are. Are they online leads or are they people you know?
It's a mixture of people that I know who've kind of just passively been looking, and then some of them are online leads that
People
I've
you
talked to
know,
and had conversations.
send them birthday cards if that in that span of time, right? Like send them a video saying, hey, happy birthday. So if you're still able to connect with them without them asking them to buy a house, but you're still staying connected.
What if I
right?
don't know them that well? Like I think Pon put up an intake form for buyers. I don't have anything like that, and so like most people's birthdays, I don't actually know unless it's on like Facebook and I follow them. But I've kind of been trying to I like sphere of influence leads, but everybody knows, like, several realtors, right? And so I wanted to kind of be able to build my business out to where it wasn't completely beholden to sphere of influence.
Yes. Yeah.
And
So
so, yeah,
your
go ahead.
Facebook people,
Mhm.
you know their birthdays. I mean, forget if they're looking to buy or sell in 3 to 6 months. A rule should just be every day or once a week on Facebook. You go on to Facebook, see everyone's birthday, film a
Okay.
like 2-second video and send it to them on Facebook Messenger. Like
Okay.
that's going to make you stand out. People all like if you post on their wall, you're with 500 other people that are posting happy birthday on their wall. But I guarantee you, no one's sending a video message to them. And actually, if you pick up the phone and call them, I know for me, I'm like, no one calls me for my birthday anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just call me, like pick up the phone, call me. Like that means a lot to somebody. So even people you don't know that well, I'd still send the video message.
Okay.
If you know them well, I would pick up the phone and call. But even if you don't know them well, like it would just, no one's going to be mad at you that you called them because to wish them a happy birthday.
Mhm.
Right. Now, people you don't know at all, like online leads, I wouldn't do that because you don't know them. You're not connected with them that way. So
Okay.
that's what you would want to reach out to them and talk to them. For us, we use Typeform to do the intake.
Okay.
And our Typeform is actually quite interactive. I learned it from a mortgage broker where we actually ask them what their favorite things are. Chocolate, Tim Hortons, Starbucks, like that kind of stuff. So then you could send out stuff randomly, like, because I want that information because I want to personalize the gifts that I give to people.
Yes.
More meaningful to them, right? Like if somebody's like massive Star Wars fan, I had one client who's a massive Lego person. So I had my son design her house in Lego and I
Nice.
created it and gave that to her for housewarming. And she was like over the moon, right? Like this is the girl that just posted that she built the Hogwarts castle from Lego. Like this is hardcore. She's a full-grown adult with teenage kids. Like she's the one that has Lego, right? So if you don't know that information, you can't elevate. You want to elevate that client experience, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps you, but
Yeah, no, it does. I've just started doing client events. I did a movie theater thing for the first one. I picked up 3 new people other people, my past clients invited. And I wanted to just start doing something like kind of quarterly, just so I can stay in front of people to kind of help out with, like, I know that's my weak point. So I've had plenty of other years where I had a lot of people. And then by the end of the year, it's like a third of that actually closed because they bought with somebody else or I forgot to reach out or something like that.
Yeah, because you're like a likable person. I see you, I like you. So you need that follow-up piece. So you need that system in place. So the easiest way to do it, I would suggest, well, really simple, take a piece of paper and just write out all the steps of things that you think you'd like to do to keep in touch with them, put timelines attached to it, transfer it then to your CRM so that you can create automations, because that's going to help you, because you're going to forget. As soon as you start showing houses and you're busy, you're going to forget that that person was doing it, right? So as long as you make that effort of like every day in the morning, I'm going to log on to Chime. I'm going to look at my task. I'm going to do what it tells me to do. And that's one commitment. That's all you got to do. But before you get there, you've got to create that system, which I don't know if Joe's still on here, but there is a system class I'm doing. I don't know which day it is. Is that the next one? I don't know if I think he's gone. But
Yeah,
I am doing a systems one to help you guys create a system where I'll actually walk you through creating a system. We'll like storyboard it basically, for better intensive words. So I might, if it's not February, I could change it to the February one, because the next one I believe is there's a content creation one and a systems and processes one.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah, that sounds great. I'll leave it open to everybody else. I see we kind of got people dropping out. I don't want to like hog your time. But
well, it's like almost one. Anyone else have any questions? Oh, sure. Holly, do you want to just send me your email and then I'll take it down? And you guys can also find me on Workplace. I'm there. Craig, where are you from? Your background is not giving it away.
I'm sorry, sick at home, and I'm from Fernie, British Columbia.
Oh, you're in BC.
Yeah,
Nice, fellow Canadian.
yeah. So actually, I'm enjoying your conversations.
Well, okay, then it's okay that you signed up, because that's what YouTube feeds my channel to BC and Ontario people for some reason. That's who our clients are.
Nice.
Thanks, Ashley. Yes, Chantal, we are in Edmonton. Okay, I'm just writing down Holly's.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming, and I hope to see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.